for example, I agree with a lot of his beliefs. But when it comes to vaccines and the misinformation, and I would call it conspiracy theories, I have a serious problem with that. So he's doing a live interview on CNN, and this was probably about a 10-minute interview or so. And the overwhelming majority of that interview was about his takes on vaccinations. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. got caught in multiple lies. And I'll start it off right here with the first one. And this is very similar to Vivek Ramaswamy. When Vivek Ramaswamy is questioned on something that he said in the past, he usually will deny it. He'll lie about it as if it never happened. And then when called on it, he starts insulting people. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., live on CNN, is confronted with his own words and in real time lies about it. Have a listen to this.
You have gained notoriety for your skepticism about vaccines. And over the summer in an interview, you said, quote, "There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective." Do you still believe that?
I never said that.
So stop me. We have the clip. Please play the clip.
Play the whole clip.
You've talked about that the media slanders you by calling you an anti-vaxxer. And you've said that you're not anti-vaccine, you're pro-safe vaccine. Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
So you did say it. Do you still believe it?
Well, here's what I would say. First of all, I'm not anti-vaccine.
How is that statement not anti-vaccine?
Well, I can say right now there's no medicine for cancer that's safe and effective. It doesn't mean I'm against all medicines. I've been fighting 40 years to get mercury out of fish. Nobody calls me anti-fish. What I want is vaccines that are proven safety. And what I meant, which was a bad use of words in this, none of the vaccines that are currently on the mandated schedule for children, the 72 vaccines, have ever been tested in a pre-licensing safety study.
You see what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just did? Before the clip is played, and I would imagine he didn't know that she had that clip ready to go, he says, quote, "I never said that." Then, when he finds out that she actually has a clip ready to go, then he says, "Well, play the whole clip." She did. And then it turns from the lie, which is, "I never said that," to maybe it was a bad choice of words. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just lied to you, just like Vivek Ramaswamy lies to you. Just like Donald Trump lies to you every day, just like the MAGA Republicans lie to you every day. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a liar. He did say that most vaccines, for the most part, are not good for you. He did say that in a podcast. And then when confronted on it, he gives you a word salad. He couldn't use the excuse of "show me the context," because they did, and he lied. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. also at one point, fairly recently, a few years back, compared the COVID lockdowns to the Holocaust, which his own wife, Cheryl Hines, called, with his comments, reprehensible. Have a listen to this.
You also, in 2022, had this to say at a rally opposing COVID mandates. Watch.
Even in Hitler's Germany, you could cross the Alps into Switzerland. You can hide in an attic like Anne Frank did. Today, the mechanisms are being put in place that will make it so none of us can run and none of us can hide.
So your wife, Cheryl Hines, put out a tweet that called those remarks reprehensible and insensitive. Is she right?
No, she's not right. but it was something that needed to be said at that time because CNN, particularly Jake Tapper, who I know is very, very close to you, took those remarks and misinterpreted and mischaracterized
Well,
them.
I mean, it
You
looks
put
like
it out
you are
there.
comparing it
Wait,
to, you're comparing COVID to what happened in Hitler's Germany
No, I never
during
did
the Holocaust.
that. Read, you show the whole clip. That's
Let's
not what I was
play
doing.
it again. Play the clip
I don't
again.
want to play that again. I want to show what I was saying before that.
Isn't it interesting when he says play the clip again, she offers to play it again, and then it turns into something else? Again, let me be very clear on this. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene compared kids wearing masks to Nazis, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. compared COVID lockdowns to the Holocaust. Let me be clear again. When we were being told that businesses wouldn't be open, we were asked, not forced, to stay home. That is not compared to people who were Jewish, who were murdered, burned alive, shot, raped, with their family members watching. There is no equivalency to COVID lockdowns or, quite frankly, anything COVID related to the Holocaust. And even though I absolutely despise Donald Trump, and I don't make any apologies for it, and even though I have said on this show that Donald Trump does have some dictator-like tendencies, and he used similar verbiage like some evil, murderous dictators in the past, I don't call Donald Trump a Nazi, and I don't compare him to Adolf Hitler. Because in my personal opinion, nothing, not Donald Trump or any politician, is comparable to a man who was responsible for murdering over 7 million people. And again, this is coming from the person who can't get more anti-Donald Trump than me. It is beneath any oath of office, and us as American citizens, nobody should be comparing certainly COVID lockdowns to the Holocaust. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is despicable for doing so. He's wrong. It's 100% wrong. Now, what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. likes to do is he likes to deny reality. It's what he does. And he says he's not anti-vaccine. But he told this woman on CNN that he doesn't think that any vaccine should be mandated for school children. There is no question that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is anti-vaccine. Now, he'll claim he's not, but listen to his words and listen to the things he says on the record and listen to his lies in this CNN interview alone. Have a listen to this exchange.
So you don't think a hepatitis B vaccine is progress?
I don't think that a hepatitis vaccine, I don't think the current hepatitis, I think the science suggests that the current hepatitis B vaccines are causing more problems than they're solving. And listen, why would you?
I'm not in a position to argue with you on the science, but I'm glad you're on the record as saying that.
Why would you have a baby, give a baby a hepatitis B vaccine when the only way that you can catch hepatitis B is through sexual interactions or using needles? Now, there are mothers who pass it to their children, and all those mothers are tested in every hospital in the country. So if somebody's at risk, then I wouldn't object to it. But why give it to a whole generation? You know, good health comes from building a strong immune system, and we never had hepatitis B epidemics when I was a kid. We never had rotavirus epidemics. A lot of these products were added to the schedule because they enrich the companies, and this is an automatic boon, an automatic windfall for companies that they're now allowed to mandate their product with no legal liability.
So do you think
And
school
no
children should not
advertising.
be required to be vaccinated in public schools
No, I would be against mandates at all
for any vaccines?
for any
children?
vaccine.
Okay.
So he just said that he would be against any mandate at any school for any vaccine. And he says he's not anti-vaccine. Ladies and gentlemen, do we understand what's going on here? That's his position. I disagree with it. But don't tell me you're anti-vaccine. That's like me saying, if someone asked me, are you anti-Donald Trump? Of course I would say yes. But that'd be like me saying, no, I'm not anti-Donald Trump. Now, that's obviously not true. I'm anti-Donald Trump till the cows come home. Just like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is anti-vaccine. I mean, that's clear, isn't it? It's as clear as can be. So, just to review so far, he lied right from the get-go in this interview. He said he didn't say something that he said. They had the audio to play it. And then when he's confronted on his lie, he says, well, I could have chose my words better. Blatant lie. And now we go to January 6th, because this is what a conspiracy theorist does. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a conspiracy theorist. If you ask any normal human being that is not biased, that has a brain, and you ask them if January 6th was an inside job, they would say no. Why? Because there's no evidence to prove that January 6th was an inside job. It was incited by Donald Trump. The election was stolen. We're going to march down to the Capitol. We're going to fight like hell, so on and so forth. And over 1,000 people have already been convicted. More people are going to be convicted. Many of those people, a good portion of them, are in jail right now. And many of them didn't say that the FBI or the CIA or anybody forced them to do what they did. In fact, most of them said they were doing it at the hands or the words of Donald J. Trump. If this was an inside job, you would have heard some of those people in a courtroom talk about that. They didn't, because it wasn't an inside job. And when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is asked about this, instead of saying, no, it wasn't an inside job, he says, I don't know. That's like somebody saying, is the earth flat? Anybody with a brain that's not a conspiracy theorist or not Kyrie Irving would say, no, it's been proven. The earth is not flat. The earth is round. Does Robert F. Kennedy Jr. say, no, January 6th wasn't an inside job? There's no evidence to prove that. No. Listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and why I call him a conspiracy theorist.
Some Republicans have suggested that there was government involvement in the riots in on January 6th. Do you believe that?
I don't know. I don't have any way of knowing. The only thing I saw again yesterday was a clip where the FBI director was asked by Congress, were there FBI agents in that crowd? And he refused to answer.
He said no. He said no, there were not.
He said they're not.
He said
then
no.
I don't have any reason to believe there are, if that's true.
All right.
Blatant misinformation from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He doesn't know what he's talking about, just like when it gets to the vaccines. Not a doctor, not an infectious disease expert, doesn't know what he's talking about. When he's asked about January 6th on national television, he's a political presidential candidate, claims in the testimony that the FBI director didn't answer the question. That's a lie. He did. He said there were no agents in that crowd. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attempted to lie again, and then he was fact-checked, and then he backed off. Somebody who is not a conspiracy theorist immediately answers that question. Was January 6th an inside job? No, there's no